Good afternoon, everyone. It is time for a news roundup where we talk about the day's big news stories. I am Steve Lookner. Welcome. We are getting set up here. And hang on a second here. Give me 1 second here. I think we're good. Someone just said that Nashville press conference. I actually need to check up on that because I was actually out doing some work-related things in the last couple hours. So I have to catch up on that because I know the police was going to say something or other. Yeah, so we'll check up on that in a second. But thank you for joining, and thanks to all of our moderators who are with us. I appreciate it, moderators. Thank you. And I want to go to the first story now. Before I do that, give me 1 quick second here. Give me 1 quick second here. Sorry, let me just do this real quick. I promise you it'll be just a second. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I just saw this. New case of the new UK variant has been found in Southern California. Look at this. This is just posted by Reuters. New case of coronavirus variant found in UK has been detected in Southern California. This is this new variant. It's been mostly found in the UK. It is now the dominant strain in the UK, but it's turning up in a bunch of other countries as well. There's evidence that it spreads significantly faster than previous strains. However, there's no evidence yet that it's deadlier or makes people sicker. And a lot of experts think that the vaccines will work on it. But that is new. Linda says, I knew that would be the first story. Yeah, I just saw this right before I came on the air. I'm going to try to get some more about this. Let's see, because I just saw this myself as we were coming on the air. Okay, let's try this. Here it is. New potentially more contagious coronavirus variant found in California, Newsom says. LA Times. It says, the new potentially more contagious variant of the virus identified in Britain has been found in California. It is unclear where precisely the variant was found, but Governor Newsom said it was somewhere in Southern California. So no specifics. You know, the case that was we'll talk about this, but the case that was the first U.S. case detected of the UK variant was in Colorado, and it turns out that case was somebody working in a long-term care facility, which isn't good. So we'll talk about that. But we don't know who the person is and where it was found in Southern California. But it's somewhere in Southern California. Though there are some signs the strain is more easily spread, there's no indication at all that increases the virulence, I think it is. Virulence, the ability to make you sick or kill you. Virulence. I think. Hang on.
Virulence.
Oh, virulence. I thought it was virulence. This says virulence. Really? I always thought it was virulence. I need my dictionary. Virulence. This says virulence, not virulence. This says virulence. Okay. That's dictionary.com. Anyways, Dr. Fauci said, there's no indication that it increases the virulence, the ability to make you sick or kill you. It doesn't even seem to make it more strong in that regard. It just seems to maybe spread faster. Fauci also said the variant doesn't seem to render vaccines ineffective. So the new strain has been found in Southern California. And in Colorado, it was found in somebody working in a care home. Here, look. Denver Post. Colorado National Guard member working nursing home outbreak tested positive for new coronavirus strain. This is from the Denver Post. Colorado National Guard member working nursing home outbreak tested positive for new coronavirus strain. State public health officials are investigating whether a second guardsman is infected with variant first detected in UK. So we talked about yesterday. It came out that somebody in Colorado had gotten it, but it was a National Guard member working in a nursing home. That's not good. Colorado public health officials are investigating a second possible infection from the more contagious variant of the coronavirus that was confirmed to be in the state this week. Both the confirmed and the suspected cases in Colorado are among Colorado National Guard members who were sent to help with the staffing at the Good Samaritan Society nursing home. That's not good. In Simla in Elbert County after an outbreak of COVID at the facility earlier this month. Sounds like a lot of the people at the facility already had it anyway. I wonder if the people at the nursing home had the new strain and they gave it to the National Guard members. Have they tested people at the nursing home for the new strain? I don't know. Blah, 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 blah. The presence of the new variant in another state is surprising as federal and state public health officials. Oh, it's also in California. Federal and state public health officials have said they expect more cases to appear in the coming days. It's unknown how the variant, which has spread quickly through the UK, arrived in the US, nor how widespread it is. Because a lot of people don't get tested for what strain they have. The first case in Colorado and in the United States that was detected appeared in a man in his 20s who was isolating at home in Arapahoe County. The person with the suspected case is isolating in a hotel in Lincoln County. So again, it's a belief this new variant may spread faster. The state is investigating whether the two individuals became infected at the assisted living facility or through their daily lives, Hurley said. The two National Guard members arrived at the facility on the nursing home on December 23rd after the outbreak at the nursing home began and were tested a day later. Oh. That would be pretty quick. I mean, normally, if you get it, it takes a number of days for it to show up on a test. So did they get their positive test a day after they started working there? If that's the case, then it would seem they got it somewhere else, most likely. So far, based on the testing that has been performed in that facility, we do not have evidence that the variant virus is circulating in the nursing home, said Hurley. She like the state epidemiologist. Okay. All 26 of the residents at this nursing home have tested positive for the virus, and 4 have died from the disease. That's terrible. At least 20 of the 34 employees have also tested positive. Wow. That's the nursing home that the National Guard members were going to help out at. I mean, in that case, they're not going to give it to any more residents because the residents all have it or have all tested positive. That's not good. But they said they don't have evidence that the new strain is circulating at the nursing home. We literally just started. We've only been talking for 10 minutes, and Aries Pork says, is this news only COVID? Because talking about something for 10 minutes means that's all we're going to talk about, I guess. So I fully expect more states in the U.S. to report this new strain. Give me a shout. Let me know your comments at Lookner on Twitter. Rick Hoppy thinks if the new variant is not widespread in the U.S. now, it soon will be. Tom says Gilligan's Island. We'll talk about that. Yeah, Mary Ann from Gilligan's Island died of the coronavirus. That happened today, too, sadly. We'll mention that. Silver Seeker says, I'm curious if any people that had been infected a while ago were able to get this new strain. I have not seen any evidence yet that this strain can reinfect people who've... It's in theory possible to get reinfected by different strains. That's happened, and there are rare cases when that's happened. But I have not seen any evidence that this strain is more likely to reinfect people than any other strain. Linda says, great, more fragile people exposed, more older fragile people exposed SMH. Denise Horton says, it's been in the USA months, just not tested for like other countries do. Yeah, I mean, UK has one of the better... Many countries either don't test for the kind of strain people have or do it very infrequently. But the UK does it better than a lot of countries. So it's possible that it's in a lot of other countries and prevalent. It just hasn't been detected yet. Cruz says the new strain could have originated in the US for all we know. Yeah, we don't know where it originated. Carrot Lucy says Alto Reed from Bob Seger bands also died. I hadn't heard about that. I haven't heard about that. Send me a link. Oh, here it is. Alto Reed, Bob Seger's longtime sax player, died of colon cancer. Oh, no, he didn't die of COVID. It's sad, though. He died of colon cancer. Sad in either way. Condolences to his family. That's from Deadline. Let's see here. Hold on a second here. Hold on. Hang on, what is this? Let's see. LLQ Lovely says the new strain was also found in Japan and Australia. It's found in, I know it's found in Australia. I'm not sure about Japan. You might be right. It's been found in a bunch of countries. There's a number of countries it's been found in. That is true. And perhaps it's in many more that just haven't detected it yet. Maria Brouillard sent me this a couple days ago. CNBC, U.S. may be missing the new COVID variant because the holes in our net are too wide. To find that strain, what we need to do is take a percentage of the samples that are diagnosed and do deep genetic analysis. And in the U.S., our capacity hasn't been spectacular, says Dr. Nahid Badella. So that's what I was talking about before. Bedelia, I'm sorry, here's her name, Dr. Bedelia. The new variant, which first emerged in the UK, has not. Well, this was a few days ago. It hadn't been detected in the US. But she was talking about. The US has only sequenced about 51,000 infections of the 17 million total cases in the country, while the UK has completed 125,000 sequences so far. So, of the 17 million people positive cases in the US, only 51,000 of them, that's less than 1%. It's like one third of a percent. They've actually figured out what strain of the virus infected the person. So that's very small. It's like a third of a percent of the cases in the U.S. of the confirmed positive cases have they actually figured out what strain it was. So the vast majority of people who get it, they don't figure out what strain they have. Yeah, Ian mentions the Oxford vaccine. We'll talk about that shortly. We will talk about that. I want to mention Mary Ann. Don Wells, Gilligan's Island's Mary Ann. Gilligan's Island's Mary Ann dies of COVID at 82. Terrible. Don Wells, who starred as Variety, Don Wells, who starred as Good Girl Mary Ann in Gilligan's Island, died of causes related to COVID in Los Angeles. She was 82. The Mary Ann character was the girl next door to Tina Louise's suggestive evening dress clad Ginger. Wells represented Nevada in the 1959 Miss America pageant. She appeared on other shows too. Not good. Beth Standard says she just made a video on Christmas Eve, I believe. Let me see. Does she have social media? The last Twitter post she made was 2019. Oh, she's on Facebook too. Let's see. Oh, her Facebook page isn't there. It says this Facebook. No, the real Mary Ann. Hold on, that's a post. She actually posted on December 24th. Look at this. This is her Facebook on December 24th. I had fun with friends from a safe distance, despite being goofy and recording a Christmas greeting. Keep your heart light and share a few laughs and conversation with someone near and far. Be well, be safe, have a Merry Christmas. Wow. Hang on. I wonder if she recorded it on that day and didn't, did she get sick after? Let's see.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Oh.
How about a sound check?
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Have a good one. Friday night's all yours.
What'd you say?
Friday night's all yours.
Wow. She looks good in that video. Terrible. So I mean, I don't know. That could have been recorded. I'm guessing it was recorded, on the 24th or around there. But I don't know. It could have been something that was recorded earlier in the month. But she's been posting. Look, on December 21st, she said, "I am very proud to tease my TV series, Don Wells' Real Adventures, coming to Amazon Prime in just days." Right? "I traveled with world-renowned fly fisher Kathy Ruddick around the Grove fishing." I mean, this was posted 8 days ago. Gosh.
Merry Christmas.
Here she is. Wow. Terrible. Yeah, she died of COVID. Terrible. Sarah Joy says, "Are they still going to release a series?" Coming to Amazon Prime in just days. Don Wells' Real Adventures. I wonder if it actually came out. I don't see it listed. I'd have to look up my Amazon Prime. Does anyone have their Amazon Prime Video handy? I can go to Amazon. I can go to Amazon and look it up. I would think it would have come up in search. It's not listed on Amazon. So that was posted. It says coming to Amazon Prime soon. That doesn't mean, yeah. So I don't know. Just sad. Well, condolences to her family. It's terrible. And I mean, look, she was posting on social media. That's a photo of her from December 17th. My Throwback Thursday photo. But look at that. She posted a lot on her Facebook page. So she was still posting until a few days ago. Just terrible. The McCall lady says, "It's scary that it happened so fast." She's Ginger from... Don Wells was Ginger from... not Ginger. Marianne from Gilligan's Island. Wow. Not good. I wonder if she just got sick all of a sudden, and went downhill in like 3 days or something. We covered last night that we did a video last night on Luke Letlow, who was the congressman-elect from Louisiana who died at age 41 of COVID, and we were showing you how he had said on December 18th he was at home and he had tested positive, and then he apparently went downhill quite fast. But he was 41 and he won an election in early December to be a member of Congress. He was supposed to get sworn in on Sunday, but he died of COVID. We did a whole stream on that last night if you want to watch it. That's on Agenda Free TV. Lynn Downey says, I loved watching Gilligan's Island. I wish we had more shows like that now. Ugh, Elmo Barney, stop with the nonsense. No. To say lockdowns and mandates don't work. No, it's just basic science that if you keep people away from each other, then fewer people will get the virus. Now, maybe a lockdown isn't getting the cases down as much as you would like to see, but that could be for a lot of reasons. It might be because people aren't actually locking down. Now there's costs and benefits to lockdowns. There's costs and benefits to that. Fine. But to just say they don't work is just ignoring basic science. It shows you either lack or just refuse to accept a basic understanding of how the virus spreads, which is it spreads between in the vast majority of cases, it spreads when people are in close contact with each other. So to say they don't work is you're just denying basic science. Now, if you want to say something like if you think they're not worth it or you think the costs are greater than the benefits, that's different. But that's different than saying they don't work. We should talk about the new Oxford vaccine. Well, it's not. It's the newly approved Oxford-AstraZeneca vaccine in the UK. We should talk about that. Give me a shout with your comments at Lookner on Twitter. Chuck Westwood says at 80, she was 82, Dawn Wells was still very beautiful. Gretchen Elizabeth says, I'm sad for her. She looked beautiful. Stuart Paul Newby says, if people don't believe this is real, just keep Disney Channel on. It will all be okay. Oh, Roxanne says the fly fishing episodes were filmed in the 1990s. Hang on a second here. I didn't see that. Hang on a second here. Good catch, Jock. She said, I am proud to tease my TV series Dawn Wells Real Adventures coming on Amazon Prime in just days. I traveled, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I didn't, he wasn't around to see this production in the late 90s. Okay, so this, it didn't, when I showed the post, it said show more, and I didn't click on show more, and in the last sentence it says, my dad and I enjoyed the fly fishing. He wasn't around to see this production in the late 90s, but I thought of him with each adventure. So this is a show that was produced in the late 90s, and it's being released on Amazon Prime, I guess now, or close to now. Okay, so that, thank you. I couldn't see that part in the actual original post. And that's the video she just posted 5 days ago. Thanks, Roxanne. Underdog Rising says, some people die in their 20s die from this, some in their 90s some in their 90s survive. The chances are better if you are young, but no one is 100% safe. Chuck Westwood says, she was my first TV star crush. Rest in peace. Sharon Vopal says, anyone reporting on the gas pipeline sabotage in Aspen, Colorado? Somebody had sent me something about that before. Maybe we'll talk about that in a little bit. Hey, I want to say a quick thanks to Christian Montoya. Thank you so much, Christian. I appreciate your support. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Elmo Barney says the vaccine does not even prevent transmission. No, we don't know that. It might prevent transmission. It's not clear. They haven't researched that, so you're wrong about that too. Elmo says, I was saying in practice mass lockdowns don't work. In theory labs they probably do work. When you just say lockdowns don't work, that distinction isn't really made. So it seems like you shouldn't say things like lockdowns don't work, period, if that's what you really mean, because people aren't going to take you that way. And you're also wrong with your claim about how the vaccine does not prevent transmission. That's just a false claim. We don't know. It's false to say that's been determined. We don't know if it does. Hang on a second here. B&O posted this. Exactly 1 year ago today, an urgent notice from the Wuhan Health Commission is shared on social media, reporting cases of unidentified pneumonia in connection with a seafood market. It was the first word about the COVID outbreak. Hey, thank you, Mr. Showtime. That's very kind of you, Mr. Showtime. Thank you. Thank you. Christian, by the way, said one more day until 2021. That's true. I will be doing a New Year's stream, probably on Agenda Free TV, tomorrow night. I need to get that set up, but there will be a New Year's Eve stream. Deb LaCour says, wow, year ago today, I think I caught on first week of February. It's crazy. I was thinking last night that, like, I mean, at the pace of vaccinations in the U.S., I don't think things are going to get remotely back to normal in the U.S. until maybe like later in the year next year. Like this could end up being like a 2-year thing. In addition to everybody it's killed and made sick, just a total, utter disruption of society for 2 years. Thanks, Paul Hess and Ghosty Girl, for the super hearts. I appreciate it, Paul Hess and Ghosty Girl. Thank you. And also, thank you to TL for your support. Much appreciated. TL, thank you, TL. Ducats says, I'm betting on early 2022. You never know. Depends on how fast the vaccines get rolled out. Israel's getting their act together fast. Israel, I think by the weekend, Israel has vaccinated, from what I've read, Israel's vaccinated about 7% of their entire population. And by the weekend, it'll be like, I think maybe by the end of the week or by the new year, in the next few days, it'll be up to 10%. But they've already gotten 7% of their population vaccinated in Israel. Beth says we need to do more to get the vaccines distributed. Yeah, I mean, it's not clear exactly how many doses have been actually given in the U.S. I think the official number is 2.1 million, but it's believed that it's actually more than that because of lags reporting. But, you know, the federal government was saying originally that they thought 20 million people were going to get the vaccine by the end of the year, and that's not going to happen. So as to where these holdups are happening, I don't have a good feel for why the holdups are happening. I mean, it's a complex process. You got to ship it out, and you know the Pfizer vaccine needs to be kept at ultra cold temperatures. Moderna, I think, is less cold but still cold. And then you have to figure out who gets it. There was a crazy thing in Florida. We got to talk about that too. The thing about Lee County, Florida, was it Lee County, Florida, where they basically said we're going to give out vaccines to seniors, and they started line first come first serve, and people started lining up like the day before, wearing blankets and stuff. It was just a mess. Yeah, I don't know. Debbie says, why is our vaccine distribution so slow? I honestly don't know. But we'll talk about some of that. Hey, thanks, by the way, to hang on, Kari Marzin. She says, I've been rewatching episodes from January 2020. Thank you for your early reporting on COVID. I was prepared when it hit the U.S. Yeah, I have not gone back and watched any of the January coverage. It would be interesting. I do remember people in January saying I'm getting masks, and I was like, well, I'm not going to get a mask right now. And then eventually I needed to get a mask. But thank you, Kari Marsden. Thank you also, Paula Faust. She says, thank you for covering the virus. We need to stay vigilant during this time. Thank you, Paula. And thank you, Jeffrey B., who says, found your channel back when you were doing the daily updates. Yeah, I mean, for a while we were covering it nonstop, and that's all. But that's also when it really wasn't getting coverage anywhere, you know. CJS says there should have been mock scenarios to test the rollout of vaccine. Nothing in my state. Yes, April says, I remember people saying you were fear-mongering. Exactly. A lot of people said that. They were yelling at me about how I was fear-mongering. Let's talk about it was actually a big story last night that the... Oh, hold on a second. Hold on. No travel history. Look. Lindsay Winkley, watchdog reporter, San Diego Union Tribune. 30-year-old San Diego County man with no travel history tested positive for the UK variant. That, I guess maybe Fletcher is a health official. Oh, is this what's happening? Hold on. I think somebody just sent me a link to this. I think that's why somebody sent me a link to San Diego. Matthews Ranch sent me this link. What is this? Oh, I can't show this. I don't, this is like a, I can't show like a news broadcast. That's like a news station. I don't know if they're posting it on their social media. Here it is, I think. Here it is. What are they saying? We're live at the County Operations Center.
All the hospital systems and the EMS systems meeting on a regular basis to monitor closely the status of the county and to make appropriate adjustments.
I just wanted to see if they were talking about the specifics. It sounds like, again, a San Diego Union Tribune reporter said that San Diego, I think she's talking about San Diego County. She said Fletcher just announced that a 30-year-old San Diego County man with no travel history tested positive for the UK variant of the coronavirus. He says that suggests that this particular variant is already circulating in the region. Because if somebody has no travel history, then they didn't go there and get it. So that would suggest somebody else in the US gave it to them. See? So we'd heard there was a case in Southern California, but it looks like it was in San Diego County. That's from Lindsay Winkley. Thank you, by the way, the Macaw lady. I do appreciate it, the Macaw lady. Thank you. And thank you also, Laurel. Hey, that's very kind of you guys. Thank you, Laurel. And thank you, Hetty Silovitz. Thank you, Hetty Silovitz and Sean C. for the stickers. Hetty and Sean and Macaw lady and Laurel, I really appreciate your support. Yeah, that's the first California case of that's been detected of the UK strain. Jean says positive cases of new strain in Canada also had no travel history, exposure, or comorbidities. Yeah, Hudzilla, I've been saying this. Hudzilla says it's not a UK variant, it was just discovered in the UK. I've been saying this repeatedly. I've said that repeatedly. We don't know where it originated. But most of the cases right now are in the UK, have been detected are in the UK. Dave NW says the UK variant is probably already widespread throughout the US. They weren't looking for it. Hang on. Yeah, here it is. COVID variant found in San Diego County, health officials say. 10 News San Diego. A variant first detected. This is quote unquote the UK variant. The case was identified a man in his 30s who began showing symptoms on December 27th and was tested on December 29th. The man has no travel history. The authorities say officials say we believe this is not an isolated case in San Diego County. And there are probably other cases of the same strain in San Diego County. The man was not hospitalized. One person within his household showed symptoms and is being tested. Again, it is believed this strain spreads faster. There's no evidence right now that there's no evidence that this strain is more deadly or more harmful. And a lot of experts think that the vaccines will work on this strain, but we don't know yet. Okay, so that's happening. I do want to talk about I keep meaning to talk about the Oxford vaccine being approved in the UK. Oh, Taja says Shabba-Doo died? Thank you, Taja. Where do they say that? I'm looking. I don't see that. I'm looking at TMZ. Oh, was that earlier today? Yeah. Adolfo Shabba-Doo Quinones, the dancer-actor who rose to fame starring in Breakin' and its sequel, Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo, died Wednesday. Condolences to his family. He was 65. Is it Shabba-Doo or Shabba-Doo? No cause of death has been announced. Just a day before he was discovered unconscious, he posted a photo of himself smiling and giving the peace sign in bed. Writing, "Good news, y'all. I'm feeling better, just a wee bit sluggish from my cold, but the good news is I'm COVID negative." So I don't know. We don't know how he died. He might have had COVID. We don't know. I mean, he said he was COVID negative. It's possible he had a false negative. I don't know. Maybe he died of something else. I don't know. But certainly sad. 65 years old. 65. Condolences to his family. That's not good. Yeah, thanks to our viewer, I think it was Taja, who messaged me. I actually hadn't heard that. I wonder what TMZ said about him. We talked about Dawn Wells dying from COVID. This is from TMZ. Should have checked this before. She was one of two surviving members from Gilligan's Island cast. Tina Louise, who played Ginger, is now the sole surviving cast member. Here it is, Shabba-Doo. Breakin' star Shabba-Doo dead at 65. His family announced his sudden passing in LA Wednesday, only a day after he had posted an image of himself in bed, right here. So far, he had posted an image of himself in bed saying he was feeling sluggish but tested negative for COVID. So far, no cause of death has been announced. Law enforcement sources tell us it appears a roommate found Shabba unconscious Wednesday night and there were no signs of foul play. That was posted yesterday on Facebook, it looks like. Wow, that's sad. Condolences to his family, to both their families. Rick the Explorer says, "Okay, I officially hate COVID." Yeah, it sucks. We don't know what Shabba-Doo died of, so he might have had another condition. Ooh, Rid Comics says, "Just found out a few hours ago my father, 83 years old, is in the hospital with COVID. He's in rough shape and I can't get in to see him." I'm very sorry to hear that, Rid Comics. Thoughts with your dad. That sucks. That's not good. And I know what it's like to have a relative in the hospital and not be able to go see him. It's terrible. So thoughts with him. I hope he recovers and quickly. That's our viewer Rid Comics. Yeah, John Musk, when the Georgia runoff election, we will cover the Georgia runoff election. That's like January 5th, I think, or something. We still haven't gotten to the Oxford vaccine. I do want to talk about that. Ooh, sorry. Let me just show you this. Hey, thank you, Torrin Hudson, by the way. I appreciate it, Torrin Hudson. Thank you, Torrin, for your support. Oh, and did I thank? I think I thanked Laurel before. Thank you, Laurel, if I didn't thank you before. I just saw this, by the way. Alex Macheris. He says, whoa. Immense overcrowding at Dubai airport, which probably has more UK Tier 4 lockdown residents there than Tier 4 itself. Note, while 50-plus countries have cut air travel ties with UK due to global concern of new COVID variant that spreads much faster, UAE, where Dubai is, has not. Oh my gosh. Unbelievable. He says UAE has admitted it has a number of infections of new, faster spreading COVID variant from UK travelers. Despite this, the passengers flying between UK and Dubai have no quarantine on either end, no testing in UK, despite, as Instagram reveals, parties and mixing galore in Dubai. Alex Macheris he reports on aviation. I follow him. I'm retweeting this. Lovely. Yeah, let me just show this to you a little better. That's indoors, by the way. I mean, it's a big ceiling, but it's still indoors. Lovely. Okay, we need to talk about this is a big story. Let's talk about the Oxford vaccine. The Oxford-AstraZeneca vaccine. This is a very big story. So this vaccine is much cheaper than the it's much cheaper than the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines, which are the two that have been approved so far in the U.S. The U.S. has not approved the Oxford-AstraZeneca vaccine. I guess it might in like February or something, from what I heard. But this is going to be the main vaccine it looks like they use in the UK, the Oxford-AstraZeneca vaccine. And it's significantly cheaper than the Moderna and Pfizer vaccines. Also, it doesn't have to be kept at ultra-cold temperatures. I don't know if it just can is it standard refrigeration? I don't know if it's like no refrigeration or standard refrigeration. Let me see if it says in the article. But it's much easier to handle in that sense. Cheaper and easier to handle. BBC, the Oxford-AstraZeneca vaccine has been approved for use in the UK. There will be 530,000 doses available from next week. The UK has ordered 100 million doses of the vaccine, enough to vaccinate 50 million people. The population of the UK, I think, is around like 65 million people. So they've ordered almost enough Oxford vaccine to vaccinate everybody. It's not all ready yet, but 66 million people. They've ordered enough of it for 50 million people. Eventually, all people over 50 and younger adults with health conditions will be offered a shot in the first phase of the rollout, more than 25 million people in total. It is hoped that about 2 million patients a week could soon be vaccinated with 2 vaccines now approved. The other one they've approved, I think, is the Pfizer vaccine. Now, they're also going to do a thing. What they're doing in the UK is there's evidence that just getting the first shot of the vaccine, of the Oxford vaccine, gives you 70% protection. So what they're going to do is try to get as many people as possible the first shot, and then you might end up waiting like up to 12 weeks for your second shot, because they want to just get people protected, a lot of people, as quick as possible. So what it says here is, we got to talk about the landslide too. Yeah, James Longman posted an important change in UK vaccine strategy. There will now be up to a 12-week gap between first and second dosing so that more people can be protected as early as possible. Oxford trials showed that 3 weeks after getting the first jab, no one was hospitalized with COVID. Franstein says, will we get a choice of vaccines? It depends on, it's up to the country you live in and the state you live in, but my guess would be in the normal procedure would be no. My guess it's going to be so hard to get these things out that they're not going to bother giving people a choice. Kelly says, Marie says, why have they not approved the Moderna vax there? I don't know. I don't know if Moderna asked for approval in the UK. I have no idea. And the other thing is, I don't know. Moderna may have not asked for approval in the UK, especially if the UK had already bought enough vaccine from other companies. The UK has already, Moderna, if these different companies only have so much vaccine, so the companies are not all going to every single country and asking for approval. And I'm guessing part of, maybe the big reason is they only have so much to sell. But I don't know the specifics on the UK and Moderna. On Tuesday, 53,000 or so cases were recorded in the UK, the highest single day since mass testing began. And then today, UK announced over 900 deaths. It was the most since April. The Oxford vaccine is easier to store and distribute as it can be kept at normal fridge temperature, unlike the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine that has to be kept at negative 70 degrees Celsius. It's also made in the UK. Yeah, so they already have enough ordered for the entire population. Boris Johnson says, we already have 100 million doses of the Oxford vaccine on order. Add that to the 30 million of the Pfizer we have on order, and that's enough for 2 doses for the entire population. But on the other hand, things are really bad there with the actual current numbers. So they want to get to people as fast as possible. See, look. LBC. UK has recorded 981 deaths in the last 24 hours, the highest figure since April. Kelly is kind says the difference in efficacy is a concern. So I want to see if there's more detail on that. If there's an actual, what the numbers are for the vaccine if you take both doses here. New York Times, UK authorizes COVID vaccine from Oxford-AstraZeneca. Health officials in the UK hope to soon vaccinate up to 2 million people per week as UK hospitals are overwhelmed by cases of new, more contagious coronavirus variant. In a departure from prevailing strategies around the world, the British government decided to begin giving as many people as possible a first dose rather than holding back supplies for quick second shots, greatly expanding the number of people who get some protection. The Oxford-AstraZeneca shot is poised to become the world's dominant form of inoculation. At $3 to $4 a dose, it is a fraction of the cost of some other vaccines. And it can be shipped and stored in normal refrigerators for 6 months rather than the ultra-cold freezers required by Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. While any one person may be better off with 2 full doses, doctors said, society as a whole benefits if more people are given the first dose as quick as possible for the time being. Still, other scientists believe that Britain overshot the available evidence, potentially leaving older people and healthcare workers without the full protection of 2 vaccine doses amid dreadful wintertime surges. That's interesting. No trials have explicitly tested the long-term efficacy of just getting 1 shot. So they're just going with, giving as many people 1 shot as possible and eventually giving them the second shot, but not rushing to give them the second shot. Here, clinical trials of the Oxford-AstraZeneca vaccine, says the New York Times, had already subjected participants to delayed second doses. Most participants in the British trial were given the 2 doses at least 9 weeks apart. British regulators said on Wednesday the first dose had 73% efficacy in preventing COVID in the period between that shot taking effect and a second shot being administered. But scientists cautioned that those figures held for a subset of trial participants and had a limited underlying immunological rationale. Scientists have also expressed concerns about the Oxford-AstraZeneca group not having enough data on older people to fully assess the vaccine's efficacy in that group. Director of the Oxford Vaccine Group said more evidence in older people will emerge from an ongoing American trial that has nearly enrolled all 30,000 of its volunteers. The U.S. and European Union have indicated they are unlikely to authorize the Oxford-AstraZeneca vaccine until at least February. When given in 2 full-strength doses, the regimen authorized by Britain, AstraZeneca vaccine showed 62% efficacy in clinical trials, considerably lower than the roughly 95% efficacy achieved by Pfizer and Moderna shots. No one who received the vaccine in clinical trials, however, no one who received the Oxford-AstraZeneca vaccine in clinical trials developed severe COVID-19 or was hospitalized. British regulators said the vaccine's efficacy appeared to rise to 80% in a smaller group of volunteers who were given the 2 doses roughly 3 months rather than a single month apart, a result that has not been published but that nevertheless emboldened the regulators to authorize a longer gap between doses. Professor Pollard said the longer interval provoked higher levels of antibodies in participants. After that finding, he said, may help solve a puzzle that has hung over the Oxford-AstraZeneca group, why the vaccine had 90% efficacy in volunteers who were given a half-strength rather than a full-strength initial dose. Those volunteers happened to get their 2 doses further apart, making it likely that the higher efficacy was the result of the elongated gap between doses, not the size of the initial dose, as originally believed. That's interesting. So, yeah, it's not clear. There's evidence suggesting, there's good evidence that the Oxford-AstraZeneca vaccine does significantly reduce your chance of getting sick from the virus. But But there's questions about the data and exactly how efficacious it is. But UK is not going to wait. They want people to start getting protection as soon as possible, so they have approved it. C. Clark says, I'll take it. Carol Reed, yeah, we did a stream on Luke Letlow last night. We did a whole stream on it. You can watch it on Agenda Free TV. Gunt Waffen says, how can anyone possibly know the long-term effects of this vaccine that was pushed out in under a year? So a fair question. First of all, ultimately you have to observe people, to see what happens. But second of all, my understanding is that it's just what these vaccines, what they contain in them. Scientists know what the vaccines are made of and how they work. And they don't believe that there's any significant risk from these given what's in them. So you need to know something about what they're made of, and they're not putting stuff in humans like certain kinds of chemicals that humans have never had put inside them, for example. Lionel Messi, I haven't seen that story. You can send me a link on Twitter. If you have a story, you can send me a link on Twitter. That's the best thing to do. Stuart Paul Newby says, Oxford giving its dose to the world at the cost price, no profit. I believe you're right about that. The Guardian, Oxford's AstraZeneca vaccine to be sold to developing countries at cost price. The vaccine produced by Oxford and AstraZeneca will be available on a non-profit basis in perpetuity to low and middle income countries in the developing world. Beth Stannard says, my mom turned 75 on January 13th. I hope she can get it ASAP. Hey, thanks, by the way, to Jeannie P. Thank you for your support, Jeannie P. I really appreciate it. And thank you to Kangaroo Island TV from Australia for your support. That's very kind of you. Thank you. I got to thank the moderators, too. They're awesome. Let me do that. Alex, the moment they say I can take the vaccine, I'm going to run out and take it. Hey, thanks Sharon Vopal. Thank you, Sharon Vopal, for your support. And Terry Roberts. Thank you, Sharon and Terry, for the Facebook stars. Oh my gosh. I thought I had turned on. Oh, I meant to turn on slow mode. I'm sorry. That was my bad. I thought I had turned it on. Sorry, Sarah. I thought I had turned it on. Thank you, by the way, also to Rid Comics. Rid Comics says, be safe, mates, and hope for a better year. Thank you, Rid Comics. And certainly thoughts with Rid Comics' father, who was in the hospital. I hope he is okay. Hey, thanks to our moderators. We got Sarah55 and Sarah Joy. They are there. They're all volunteers. Thank you, moderators. Also, our Periscope mods. Thank you. Texas Legends Brian is there. Texas Legends Brian says Georgia runoff is the 4th. It's the 4th. Yeah, we will have coverage of that. It is on, let me just make sure here. No, the 5th. The 5th. Look, Tuesday, January 5th. United States runoff election in Georgia. It is on the 5th. So we will cover it on the 5th. Thanks to our Facebook and Twitch mods as well. On Facebook, Roxanne Becky is moderating. I really appreciate it, Roxanne. Thank you. Betty, this doesn't have a... Betty Nelson says, what time does this show start? I don't have a fixed start time for our broadcasts. They happen whenever news happens or whenever I come on the air. So there's no fixed time. The best way to get notifications for my channels, for Agenda Free TV, Agenda Free TV 2. There's one news channel on all the platforms except YouTube. On YouTube, there's Agenda Free TV and Agenda Free TV 2. But the best way to make sure you don't miss it is to sign up for the Discord. The Discord is a chat room that's free, and viewers of my channels get together in the Discord and they chat with each other. But you don't have to do the chat. You can just sign up for free and get the notifications. That's really the best way to do it. The notifications, actually, if you have the Discord app on your phone, the notifications actually pop up on your phone. But that's really the best way to make sure you get notified. The Discord are the best notifications. You can find the link to the Discord, to join the Discord. You can find that on YouTube. You can find it right in the video, right in the description of this broadcast. If you look down at the bottom, it's there. And the mods can post it as well. But that's really the best way to get notifications to make sure you don't miss live streams. But I would also just sign up for multiple ways of getting notifications. I always post on our Twitter account at Agenda Free TV. I always post there when we're going on the air. I always post on Facebook when we're going on the air. So, have multiple ways of getting notifications. Thanks to our Twitch mods, too. We got Idaho Star and Tariag moderating there. Thank you. A lot of news going on today. A lot of news that I wouldn't necessarily... A lot of news that I wouldn't necessarily have done a individual stream on, but that we can cover here on the News Roundup. Mr. Eon says a 45-year-old nurse in California tested positive more than a week after receiving Pfizer's vaccine. A couple things. I don't know if that's true, but if it is true, first of all, it takes a while for the vaccines to work. And also Pfizer, you're supposed to get 2 doses. You don't take one shot of the 2 doses and get the full protection right away. Second of all, the vaccines are not supposed to be 100% effective, right? So the Pfizer and Moderna vaccine, those are, I believe, the effectiveness is supposed to be in the 90s% range. So it's not really, if you tell me someone took the vaccine, someone got the first shot of the Pfizer vaccine and then got the virus a week later, well, it's to be expected. It's to be fully expected that there will be people who take the vaccine and get the virus, right? Because it's not 100% effective, especially a week after you get the first shot. So it's not supposed to be you get it with the first of 2 shots and then you're 100% protected. All right, that's it. Lab Golden, you're muted. I can't listen to it, Lab Golden. Oh my gosh, the COVID denialism, and then the claiming there's election fraud in Georgia when there's clearly not. Take Lab Golden, go to the crazy person channel. Enough. I can't listen to you anymore. It's verbal diarrhea. It's ridiculous. Who wants to listen to this crazy ranting nonsense nonstop? Please take it to another channel. Enough. So Lab Golden's out for this broadcast. Enough of Lab Golden. My gosh. Yuck. Ridiculousness. Non-stop. Comment after comment after comment. Just garbage. Just nutty garbage. Hey, what's this? What's this? A chilling voicemail reveals a desperate attempt to warn people about the man responsible for the Christmas bombing meltdown. I know what he is doing, says Anthony Warner's former girlfriend in chilling voicemail. A chilling voicemail reveals a desperate attempt to warn people about the man responsible for the Christmas bombing downtown. Anthony Warner's former girlfriend left the voicemail for her attorney more than a year ago, on the same day she warned police that Warner was building bombs in his RV. So we covered the story last night. We did a whole stream on this, Agenda Free TV. If you want to go watch it, you can watch it. But I'm not going to cover that all again because we did a whole stream on it. You can go watch it. Anthony Warner's girlfriend told police he was building bombs in RV. Okay, that was a year ago. But I guess on the same day she told police that, blah, 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 blah. In the voicemail that the woman's, his Anthony Warner's former girlfriend's lawyer saved and played exclusively for News Channel 5 Investigates, the woman made it clear she wanted to stop Anthony Warner from hurting a large number of people. I won't have hundreds, probably thousands of lives on my soul, and I will shoot him in the leg if I have to, the woman said. Throckmorton said she continued saying those same things to police. A police report from last year reveals that she told police officers that Anthony Warner was building bombs in the RV trailer of his residence. Throckmorton was so concerned by what she was saying, he also urged police to go to Warner's home to check it out. Police determined that the woman whose name we are withholding needed a psychological evaluation. She voluntarily went for that purpose. The voicemail reveals she was desperately trying to get the word out about the danger Warner posed. She also said he was threatening him. I don't know if that's true. What does it have? What does it say here? Blah, blah, blah. They should really post the transcript of the voicemail. There was, they did a little press appearance, the police today. Oops, hang on. The Nashville police did a press appearance today. And here. Metro Nashville Police Chief defends officers who responded to 2019 tip about bomber. In the hours since Metro Nashville Police revealed a year-old report that tipped off investigators to the suspect in the Nashville Christmas bombing, questions have swirled about why officers failed to inspect the man's property in 2019. 16 months before, this is from the Tennessean, 16 months before Anthony Warner's RV exploded in downtown Nashville, officers visited his home in Antioch after his girlfriend reported he was making bombs in the vehicle. Okay. They went to his house. Warner's girlfriend in 2019 told police she believed he was making a bomb in his RV, but officers never made contact with Warner. Council members, defense attorneys, and the public have asked on social media why this report was held for days. I was asking that last night. I couldn't believe that the police never revealed they had been told this last year. They could have, that doesn't mean they did anything wrong, but it's kind of crazy they never revealed that they were told it. and why officers failed to inspect Warner's RV in 2019. The police chief said he only learned there was a report on Sunday night. What? The police chief said Wednesday he only learned there was a report on Sunday night after the FBI identified Warner as a suspected bomber. But federal law enforcement searched Warner's home on Saturday morning. You'd kind of think if federal law enforcement, and I think Nashville police, were there on Saturday morning at his house, somebody would have figured out that they had been told about him last year. The police chief defended the decision to not release the report earlier at a news conference on today, saying he relied on senior staff to produce a full report to him that included details about how officers had followed up. We have, quote, we have to know what we have. I don't think you want me to put out a report and then stand there and say, I don't have any further information. I can't give you any more. He said on Wednesday, we need to make sure what we had. No, I would want that. If they found, I would be perfectly okay with them saying, I would be perfectly okay with the police saying, look, we found this report. We found this report that his girlfriend told us last year he was building bombs in his RV. I just got this myself. I'm letting you know. We're going to get into it. We're going to investigate what happened, and in a couple days we'll get back to you. What's wrong with saying that? Would anybody have a problem with them saying that? If the police chief had come out the moment he saw that report and said, look, I just saw this myself. I'm sorry, we didn't know about it. I'm going to get into it. I have no details right now, but as soon as I can in the next couple of days, I'm getting into it. We're going to do a full investigation. I'll get back to you. Somebody's going to complain about that? I don't think so. So I disagree when the police chief says, I don't think you want me to put out a report and then stand here and say, I don't have any other further information. I can't give any more. No, that's just fine. Just say, I just found this. Here's the report, and I'm going to investigate it. I don't see what's so bad about that. Mayor John Cooper of Nashville urged the department to be open about the process. We must learn from this tragedy, blah, 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 blah. Drake also stood by the actions of his officers in the wake of the tip, saying he believed they'd done everything they legally could to follow up in late August 2019. There was a matter of record report made that a person was building bombs and he was capable of making bombs, but that's all we had right there. We had no actual knowledge that a bomb was made. He said they had no evidence to proceed in 2019. Drake said today that officers with the Hazardous Materials Unit tried to contact Warner for at least a week after the report was filed, but were unsuccessful. Without speaking to him, officers had no evidence, the police chief said. Only a statement from his girlfriend and attorney. Drake said Metro officers did not have enough evidence to seek a search warrant of Warner's home or RV. He said Warner's attorney told officers they would not be able to search the property, which the attorney denies. Let's see here. Yeah, so basically, there's two different things here. There's the failure to even admit, there's the failure to tell the public that they had been told this by the girlfriend a year ago. That's one thing. And then there's the failure to actually have searched his property and talked to him last year. Now, it's possible that, I don't know. I would have to consult an expert in Tennessee law and law enforcement to see. It's possible they just handled this in the usual way it's handled, right? It's entirely possible that if there was an expert in Tennessee law enforcement and Tennessee law, they would just say, oh, what the police did then is what the standard thing you'd expect police to do in that situation. They couldn't do anymore. I don't know. I'd have to talk to an expert. But regardless of how they handled it in 2019, I personally think it's really bad that this report, they never admitted this report. It only came out last night because I think my understanding is it only came out last night because some local reporters or a local reporter found the report. And then they started commenting on it. So, and when authorities were asked at the FBI press conference, I think it was Sunday, when they said that, oh, this is the guy who did it and he died, they had a question was he on your radar? And they just said no. And that just seems like disingenuous or a lie to say that when there's been, it was literally a report last year to the police that's documented that his girlfriend said, of the time said, he was building bombs in his RV. So it just, saying that they should have come out with this report earlier and not saved it and not waited for the media to find it does not mean, that's a different thing from saying that they should have done something different in 2019. I can't really say, what they should have done in 2019. I don't know enough about it. But we covered this. We did a whole stream on it last night. So I'm not going to get into all again. But you can, on Agenda Free TV, you can go watch it. It's there. So feel free to go watch it. But I'll take some comments from you guys. I hadn't caught up on the details about what the police were saying today. Amazing World thinks they buried the mistake. I'm thinking one sect said they had a duty to prove or disprove the bomb threat. That's their job. But I don't know if they're allowed to do anything more. It's a little strange to me that they tried to contact, so the girlfriend in 2019 tells the police he's building bombs in his RV. And then they try to contact him for a week and then they just give up. Like, if you're trying to contact him for a week, right? Is that like their procedure? Well, try for a week and then give up. It seems like if you're trying to contact them for a week, it's something you're putting some sort of priority on. So why just give up? Again, I just don't know. It's right. I'd like to. Is that the procedure? Well, you contact them for a week, and then if they don't answer your calls, you give up. Underdog Rising says a rumor is not probable cause. Elizabeth G. said nothing stopped them from trying to get a warrant. Well, if they thought there was no chance, they might not try. Want Some Coffee says, I don't believe they tried. Carol, they did knock on his door. They actually went to his house and he didn't answer the door. They went to the house. OS Cookie Monster says, National Spotlight is on you. Someone will find it. Wasn't even that long ago. 16 months ago. Debbie says, why didn't they look in the RV? They couldn't. It was in the gate. It was in that gated area of his property, and they can't just go on his property and look. They're not allowed to do that unless they have a warrant. Debbie says they could have put him under surveillance. I mean, I don't know if they can. I don't know how that works. But even if you could, I don't know that that's a situation where you would normally use those resources for. Emma thinks the police messed up. Donna K. says, in today's time, the police can't ignore reports like that. Rascally Rabbits thinks the police were just lazy. There isn't, now just to be clear though, so she also was in, it seems like a bit of a strange state at that point. Let me show you this article I saw about her really quickly. Oh, by the way, thank you to Damian Hill for your support. Damian says, I think my sarcasm was misunderstood. I don't even recall seeing what you said, Damian. But I appreciate your support, Damian. Yeah, and by the way, I really appreciate the donations. In case a lot of you have seen the channel before, but some of you have not, I guess. But I do this full time. I cover news on this channel and mostly on Agenda Free TV, which is my other channel here. That's Agenda Free TV. But literally, your donations are what allows me to do news coverage full time. I'm basically available 24/7 when I'm not sleeping to go on the air and cover news. So thank you for letting me do that. You are the ones who allow me to do it. If you do want to support the channel with a donation, you can go to agendafree.tv, agendafree.tv. So I found this article. Elizabeth G. says, I wonder if the FBI has talked to the girlfriend from last year now. Yeah, this was this article. Is this the one? Is this the one? Hold on a second here. Yeah, this is, look at this one. It says Nashville bombers property transfers to 29-year-old LA woman created schism for the family. In the family. So Anthony Warner, the Nashville bomber, in November gave his house to this 29-year-old woman in LA. And approximately 2 years ago, he gave a different house to her for $10. He sold a house to her for $10. And this article, I think, says that I think that Warner said she was a daughter of a friend. It's not clear what the connection between the woman is and Warner. But there's some other quotes in here I want to show you. This is from the Tennessean. A Nashville attorney who used to represent the Nashville bomber said his former client gave property to a young woman whose mother he knew personally, and the transaction created a schism within the Warner family. So this is house number one. But again, Anthony Warner said that this 29-year-old was the daughter of somebody he knew. There's been some speculation that maybe it's the daughter of somebody he dated or something. Ray Throckmorton III, who said he represented Warner previously, said Warner transferred his mother's stake in a family home to himself by a quitclaim deed. Warner later transferred the home to a 29-year-old woman who lives in Los Angeles. That was the one at 3724 Bakertown. That had at the time had a market value of nearly $230,000. It was given for free by Warner to the LA woman in January 2019. The woman did not have to sign that deed to accept the property. In August, that woman gave the home back to Warner's mother. I remember him saying he knew the woman's mother personally, Throckmorton said. The Nashville attorney also said Warner described that 29-year-old woman, the recipient of the house, as the child of a friend of his. Then a month ago, 1 month before the bombing, Warner gave the home he lived at to the young woman. Okay, so, and then so that's one thing. And then here's the thing about the Warner's girlfriend, the one who reported him to the police last year. The 64-year-old woman, Warner's former girlfriend, began to call Throckmorton's office frequently in 2019 to report she feared for her safety, saying Warner was stalking her and even potentially drugging and poisoning her. I have no idea if this is true, right? But this woman, the 64-year-old woman, I believe is the woman who told police he was building bombs in his RV. But she began calling her lawyer frequently in 2019 to report she feared for her safety, saying Warner was stalking her and even potentially drugging and poisoning her. I have no idea if that's true. She believed that Tony was spying on her, believed that he was breaking into her house at night while she was asleep, Throckmorton said. She believed all kinds of things. We had no way to know whether or not that was true. Throckmorton said the woman told him Warner was building bombs. So, I don't know if this stuff is true. Even her lawyer and the sometime lawyer of Anthony Warner, doesn't know if that's true. So, if depending on what she told police, the police clearly thought she needed a psychological evaluation. So maybe they didn't really take her bomb claim seriously because of how she was acting or other stuff she was saying. I don't know. History Underfoot says, I'm sure he was spying on her, but call her crazy for knowing it. I don't know. Even her lawyer doesn't know if this was true. Mark Starkiller says they will make a movie about this. So I have no idea if this is true. Yeah. Fran Stein says story makes little sense. I mean, maybe all this is true, or maybe she was making it up. But the thing she said about the bombs in the RV was apparent. Well, we don't know that was true, but it seems like there's a fair likelihood, given that he did put a bomb in his RV, a few days ago. Again, that's from the Tennessee, and it's so odd. The whole thing is so odd. But I'm just wondering, did the police not take the bomb stuff she was saying seriously because of the way, she was acting or other things she was saying? I have no idea. Oh, thank you, Judy Socket, for your support. Judy Socket says the law is you don't have to open the door to police without a warrant. I believe that will change. Now, I don't think it will change, Judy. I mean, because, it's just, that's like a basic protection you have in this country. So, but you're right, though, that you don't have, he didn't have to talk to police when they came. They didn't have a warrant. Oh, thank you, by the way, so much, Andre Vandal. Andre Vandal or Andre Vandal? For your support. That's really kind of you, Andre. Thanks so much, Andre. I appreciate that. Pi Oh My says, sounds like she wasn't taken seriously. 911 Goddess says her statements may have been discounted because she was in crisis and suicidal. She was critically distraught. Yeah, one of our viewers says police could have thought she was the crazy one. They did say they thought she needed a psychological evaluation, right? Carol Reed says crazy people can make sane people do and say crazy things. I want to post this, actually. The Nashville bomber's ex-girlfriend ex-girlfriend who, I'll just say girlfriend, who told police he was building bombs in his RV, also said some, other things about him. I have no idea if these things are true, and neither did the lawyer. Right? Because the lawyer said she believed all kinds of things. We had no way to know whether or not this was true. Again, the 64-year-old woman began to call Throckmorton's office frequently in 2019 to report she feared for her safety, saying Warner was stalking her and even potentially drugging and poisoning her. And breaking into her house at night while she was asleep. What did she say? Stalking her, even potentially poisoning her, spying on her. This is not all going to fit. I have to cut this down. The tweet's going to be too long. Ooh. The Nashville bomber's girlfriend, who told police he was building bombs in his RV, also claimed he was stalking her, breaking into her house, and potentially drugging and poisoning her. I have no idea if these things are true, and neither did the lawyer. Did I get this right? You're watching me compose a tweet. Okay. Breaking into her house, stalking, potentially drugging and poisoning her. Okay. The Nashville bomber's girlfriend, who told police he was building bombs in his RV, also claimed he was stalking her, breaking into her house, and potentially drugging and poisoning her. I have no idea if these things are true, and neither did the lawyer. Okay, that's what I wanted to say. All right, it's an odd story. It's just a very odd story. Sorry, I wanted to post that tweet. It's just so odd. And also, again, he says the lawyer says that Warner said that the woman who he gave the 2 houses to was the daughter of a friend of his. Rick the Explorer says, I checked my bank account. I have not got my stimulus check. Marie Whitmore thinks she was a mess because of him. Carol Llewellyn says, we can now give her the benefit of the doubt, but at the time she was very distraught. Yeah, she was also threatening, she was also saying suicidal things, according to the lawyer. Amber E. says, what if we find out everything she feared was true and the system failed her? Yeah, I don't know. Evalis says they are all trying to say she was crazy to escape responsibility. Donna Kay says that's probably too, she was a mess because of him. Yeah, I have no idea what was going on in their relationship, and the lawyer doesn't know what was going on in the relationship. Pi Oh My says anyone close related to her will hopefully be interviewed. It would be interesting to interview. I'm wondering if the authorities will interview people that other people the girlfriend knew, because authorities would want to know. So she said this to her lawyer. Was she telling this to her? Did she say anything about it to her friends at the time? You know. Just so odd. A couple people say they like the shirt and tie. Carol and Linda. I think this is my favorite shirt, but I used to never be able to wear it until I got the new lights that Chris Lund donated to the channel very generously. And with the new lights, I can actually wear the shirt and tie. This is my favorite, but I haven't been able to wear it for 2 years. All right, anyways, let me take a couple more comments from you guys. Zelop Ehad says police can still enter by force if it was an emergency like that of a suicidal act. Yeah, there's certain cases where they're allowed to go in to houses where you don't let them in certain cases where they're not. I'm not an expert on all of that stuff. Aho Namast says CNN reported they observed his home for several days. Let's see if it says it here. I was sent this link by Aho. An officer observed Warner's home for several days, but found no evidence of bomb making. Was an officer there 24 hours a day observing? I don't know that. I don't know. That could mean they drove by a few days. It would have taken a sign of a crime being committed or that a bomb was being made to obtain a legal search warrant for subpoena, said the police chief. Oh, Mark mentioned Yemen airport. That happened too. That also happened too. There's so much that happened in the last day. We'll see if we get to it all. Kristen Coughlin, we covered Mary Ann from Gilligan's Island. We talked about her passing away, I think maybe just before you messaged. So you can rewind the broadcast and see that. Very sad. Is it Dana Wells? Am I getting that right? If I remember. I have too many things open. Too much open on my desk. Hey, thanks, by the way, to Sabrina Peak. Hey, thank you so much, Sabrina Peak, for the Facebook stars. It's very kind of you. Also, thank you, Yelena Murphy. Thank you, Yelena Murphy, for your support with Facebook stars. And Sean Keating as well. That's very kind of you. Thank you, Sean Keating. Much appreciated. Thank you. Oh, and also Tony Rayner. Tony says, here's to 21. Thank you, Tony, for the Facebook stars. Roxanne says the house was observed for a couple days. Yeah, I didn't see the press conference today. I don't know if the house was observed nonstop or not. But I don't even know what they could see. Like, look, if they go to his house, right, and what are they going to see? So they observe the house. So if he's not doing it out in the yard, they're not going to see anything, right? It says, so they observed the house and they didn't see bomb-making activity. So what? So they go to the house and they sit out there and they look at the house and they look at the RV. They don't know what he's doing in the house. They can't see through walls. They can't see through the walls of the RV. So the fact that they went to the house and didn't observe bomb-making activity doesn't really tell me a lot. I mean, because I don't believe they have the ability to see through walls. Unless he carries out like a giant bomb with him out in the yard and says, I'm going to go work on this in my RV. Betty Nelson wants to know, what is the connection between the woman who was given the houses and the bomber? Betty also says, what was in the basement? Okay. Karen Mitchell says, I'm surprised the neighbors weren't watching him when I was growing up. My mom would have been watching him like a hawk. LV Beasy said police paid a guy to sit there for several days to do nothing. Rasty says, I think anyone that is capable of making a bomb is capable of knowing when police are watching them. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to check. People keep messaging me about Norway. We'll talk about it. I already posted about it. I posted about it on my Twitter. If you're not sure if I know about something, check my Twitter account first, because a lot of times people say, hey, this story happened, and if you go to my Twitter, you can see I'm fully aware of it. But a bunch of people have been writing me about the Norway thing. Yeah, we'll talk about that. I've been posting about that on Twitter. Thanks to Robin Anderson for writing in, for example. You are watching the live news roundup. It's live news roundup. We've started doing this a little more lately. And we'll see how much we do it. Covering some different stories that we might not cover on Agenda-Free TV. Also, we're kind of jumping around from thing to thing to thing. But if you like it, subscribe and watch and tell people if you'd like. Let's see here. Yeah, Quake Country sent me. First of all, no, I'm going to talk about that. Quake Country sent me this. Well, I'm going to wait to Quake Country sent me the Aspen thing, but I want to hold off for a second on talking about that because I keep saying I'm going to talk about the Norway landslide. I Hear Cricket says these news roundups are a great idea. Hey, if I do them and people will watch and donate while I'll do them, I'll keep doing them because I like doing them. So we'll see. We'll see how popular they are. Norway's landslide. Houses buried in village near Oslo. See, that's a picture from Reuters. How many people are still missing? I might have to check Norway newspaper. This says 11 missing, injuring 10 people, 1 seriously. A landslide in a Norwegian village has buried homes under dark mud. Some people were feared to be trapped in mud and debris. We are quite certain there are people in the affected area. We don't know if all 11 missing people are there or if the number is smaller, said a police spokesman. Oh, thank you, Maria. Maria says keep doing the news roundups. Thank you, Maria. That's very kind of you. I appreciate it. Your preference for more news roundups has been noted, Maria. Thank you, Maria Briard. On Wednesday, after the landslide began during the early hours of Wednesday, with residents calling emergency services and telling them their houses were moving. This is from BBC. On Wednesday afternoon, 2 more houses collapsed into the crater formed by the landslide, while others remained perched precariously on its lip. The Prime Minister said the situation was so uncertain, only rescues by helicopter can be carried out. Wow. Wow. A resident said there were 2 massive tremors that lasted for a long while, and I assumed it was snow being cleared or something like that. Then the power suddenly went out, and a neighbor came to the door and said we needed to evacuate. Large quantities of earth were continuing to move. Let me see. This is the largest landslide in recent times in Norway, said this person, an NVE spokesperson. It's a government spokesperson. It was a so-called quick clay slide, measuring about 300 meters by 700 meters. Quick clay is a kind of clay found in Norway and Sweden that can collapse and become fluid when it comes under stress. She said further slides were unlikely. Broadcaster NRK said heavy rainfall may have made the soil unstable. Ooh, look, there's a house right there. Let me check. Daily Mail often has photos. Daily Mail. It's not dozens missing anymore. It's 11 missing. All right, there's that photo. It looks like in this one, there's like a house on the edge, see? Like that's a drop off there, it looks like, I think. Yeah, it looks like there's just like the land is gone. Let me check also. Oh, I know what I can do. I think I know what I can do. Oh. Here, look, this is NRK. This is a Norwegian channel. 2 new buildings have collapsed tonight. Let's see. 10 still missing. 10 have not been accounted for. Several new buildings have collapsed. This is from Norway. The search for 10 people who have not yet been accounted for after the large landslide continues through the night. Police are considering lowering rescue personnel with a dog. Police have expected more buildings will collapse as a result of the unstable soil masses. They are going to try to lower rescuer and dog handler with dog down on some of the buildings that are considered safe to get down on with the dog. The missing number is 10. Everyone who has been accounted for is safe. Nobody is dead so far. Police said they have a dialogue with relatives of the missing persons. We believe there are people in the landslide area, but whether it's now 10 or fewer, we cannot determine with certainty. The 10 that are searched for are registered with residential addresses in the landslide area. So far, no finds have been made and no one is confirmed dead. Maybe there's someone who's trapped but is still alive. The helicopters searching are equipped with heat-seeking cameras. Has a heat-seeking camera helped save lives today? Yes, I would say that, I guess, said one of the authorities. Not good. Give me a shout. Let me know your thoughts at Lookner on Twitter. Let me know what you think. Linda says similar to quicksand. Well, I guess it's, all I can do is type in quick clay and see what it says. Quick clay, geoengineer.org. A specific type of clay material that experiences a significant loss of strength when it is disturbed. This is from Geoengineer, the site Geoengineer. That is, I don't know. Wikipedia. Quick clay is any of several blah, 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 clay, blah, 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 blah. incidents. Because the clay layer is typically covered with topsoil, a location which is vulnerable to a quick clay landslide is usually identifiable only by soil testing and is rarely obvious to a casual observer. Thus, human settlements and transportation links have often been built on or near clay deposits, resulting in a number of notable catastrophes. On June 3rd of 2020, 8 buildings were swept into the sea by a landslide in Norway. There were no casualties. So some different. On May 4th, 1971, 31 lives were lost when 40 homes were swallowed in Quebec. In a landslide there. Hey, thanks to I Hear Crickets. Thanks, I Hear Crickets, for your support. I Hear Crickets likes the news roundups. Thank you. Maria wants to visit Norway one day. I would too. I'd like to visit Scandinavia. Linda says, yikes. So 10 people still missing. But the good news, it sounds like they think maybe there's still people trapped. Not good. Germany, more than 1,000 deaths for second day in a row. That's an update from B&O Newsroom. Fortunately, the people in the hospitals dropped by a little bit. But this is like Germany having more than 1,000 deaths is like the U.S. having more than 4,000 deaths, which has never happened in the U.S. because Germany's population is like 80-something million. So you basically have to multiply it by 4. So that would be like the U.S. having over 4,000 deaths. That's how many people are dying there. And they have been, generally speaking, for the first large part of this pandemic, they've been doing well, Germany. But things have gotten way worse there. Peaks and Pokes says, I remember the Alto, Norway landslide. A whole chunk of land with houses just moved into the sea. Alert says there's a good video on YouTube from the June landslide. Really shows how the ground becomes liquid. Fran says, more news roundups, please. Ann says, been here for all of AFTV too. Dave Parkinson said Bitcoin is now 29,000. Really? Oh my gosh. What's going on with Bitcoin? Yeah, I'm seeing some posts about that today. $29,200. Here's Bitcoin the last few years. It went up to like 20,000, then it went down to like in the 3,000s. Then it went back up to like 11,000. Then it was down earlier this year to, this says 6,000, 6,000 or whatever, something like that. Now it's up to, it's gone up this year since from 5,000 till 29,000. Where will it be next? I have no idea. Dave mentioned that. See if I can find you an article on that. Barron says, Bitcoin continues to set records. Why prices can keep going higher. This is from Barron's. David Grider said Bitcoin's positive momentum is being fueled by institutions and corporations purchasing more of the asset, and retail demand driven by the latest wave of stimulus checks, among other factors. Is there a bubble? Given the recent run, some might look to take profits, Grider noted, which could slow or reverse the rally. While Bitcoin certainly has its skeptics, others have raised their price targets on it. Who knows what will happen with Bitcoin? Hey, thank you to David F. I appreciate your support, David. David says, have you heard about the Ontario finance minister going to the Caribbean over Christmas and making it seem like he was at home? No, I have not heard about that. I'll have to look it up, David. Thanks for the tip. Duckett says, I might be a fan, but there's no denial Bitcoin is bipolar. Worker B says, I bought into it at 5,000 in 2017 and got back out. Ugh. Johnny Anonymous says, I prefer chocolate coins. Shaggy says, make-believe currencies. Frucartoffine says, Bitcoin is a roller coaster for fun money, not retirement investment. Oh, thank you, Bonnie Jean. Thank you, Bonnie Jean, for the Facebook stars. That's very kind of you, Bonnie Jean. And thank you so much also, Robin Anderson on Facebook. Robin says, for the Facebook stars, Robin says, thank you for covering the Norwegian news. I like the news roundups. Thank you for writing in about it, Robin. I had been meaning to cover that, so thank you. I'm glad you like the roundups. Evelyn Camp says, if I have one Bitcoin, can I go to my bank and get $29,000? Well, it's not a physical currency. There's no physical Bitcoins. So what you would do if you had a Bitcoin, you would have an account somewhere with the Bitcoin in it, right? And you would like sell it on a currency exchange, on a digital currency exchange. So you'd have to get somebody to buy it from you and give you dollars for it. Yes, Evelyn says you have to have 29,000 to get one. Yes, although I don't know. I have not participated in Bitcoin exchanges. Is it possible? Can you buy like fractions of Bitcoins on exchanges? Can you do that? Yes, look. Cryptocurrency Facts says you can buy as little as 1/100th million of a Bitcoin. You don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. How to buy fractions of a Bitcoin. BTC Geek. Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency that can be divided into up to 8 decimal places. It's not a physical coin. Oh, thank you to Linda Payne. Thank you, Linda. Linda says, I really love the news roundups. Hey, thank you. Lots of, keep it going, or lots of sad faces. Thank you, Linda. That's very kind of you. Much appreciated. Linda Payne, thank you for your support. Rick says you can buy Bitcoin in any increment you want. John Ahern says you can buy like $10 worth if you want. Duckett says you can buy fractions. Celine says you can buy fractions. No, Linda, I do not have any Bitcoin. I do not own any Bitcoin. None for me. Okay, let's see here. I do want to talk about that Aspen story. Whoa, breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Nearly 3,900 new deaths in the U.S. Now, I wonder if any of this is because there was like delayed reporting. I don't know. New cases 224,000. Positivity rate 14.4% in the country. In hospital, another record, up 534, 125,000. ICU up 3884 deaths. Vaccinated 2.6 million. This is from COVID Tracking Project via BNO Newsroom. Wow. They haven't posted today yet, but that's where they'll post eventually. Eesh. Yeah, Duckett says, speaking of 4,000 deaths. By the way, 2.6 million would be less than 1% of the population. Underdog Rising says, unbelievable. Cheryl says, horrible, so sad. Debbie says, 14% positivity. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy that the positivity rate for the country is 14.4%. The general goal is to have it below 5%. George says Bitcoin is a currency with a fixed amount. George, aren't there more Bitcoins being generated? Bitcoins do get generated, right, George? It's controlled how many they're generated, though. Alibaba says check live walks in downtown NYC, massive groups of people. I don't send me a link, Alibaba. No, Ryan, it's percent of people tested. Percent of people tested. Mark Whirling also sent me that, too. But I saw it right away. Okay, so 3884 deaths in the U.S. in the past day. Just crazy. Give me a shout if you have comments. At Lookner on Twitter is where you can reach me. I want to talk about this story that Quake Country wrote to me about, and some other people mentioned. FBI investigating possible attack on natural gas line in Aspen, Earth First graffiti on pipe. Hundreds of homes are still without heat in the Aspen area following an act of vandalism some are calling an environmental attack. The FBI is now involved in the investigation. This is from CBS 4 Denver. Gas was intentionally shut off at 3 pumping stations in the area. With no security cameras, investigators were left to analyze graffiti with the words Earth First written on one of the pipes. The graffiti indicates perhaps some sort of affiliation with some sort of environmental group, but it's not necessarily proof that it's anything in particular, said this police representative. Lynn said Aspen police were first alerted to the crime Saturday night after responding to a call from a concerned homeowner. Initially, we were concerned called for a noise at one of the gas pumping stations that just alarmed one of the neighbors there. They discovered Black Hills Energy was already on the scene, responding to a sensor indicating low pressure. They immediately noticed some of the valves on some of the gas lines had been turned off. That was an intentional act. Investigators say the individuals responsible will face several felony charges. The gas was eventually turned back on, but because of the way the gas was snapped off and snapped back on, apparently that created some voids in the system for safety. So for safety's sake, the Black Hills Energy had to turn off every single meter in the area. There were 3,500 homes and businesses impacted. Not good. I don't even know, what would this be about? Let's see here. SBI aids an investigation. This is Colorado Sun. SBI aids an investigation of gas pipeline sabotage that turned heat off in Aspen. By the way, Dr. Drew says, History Underfoot says Dr. Drew has COVID. I saw that. History Underfoot says Dr. Drew apologized for downplaying it, says now to take it seriously. The name of a radical environmental advocacy organization was scrawled Saturday on a pipe that was vandalized. Who knows if they actually did it? I don't even know who the they is, but let's see. It was not clear whether members of the Earth First group were actually involved in the intentional disruption of gas service to the Aspen area, which resulted in thousands of people living without heat or hot water. But the name was found at one of the 3 Black Hills energy sites vandalized. They would have to have had some familiarity with the system to pull off the sabotage, Lynn said. They tampered with flow lines. They turned off gas lines. Yes, I don't know who did this, but it's something you would certainly need to know what you're doing, right? I certainly couldn't walk there and do this. I wouldn't know what to do. Emails sent Monday to the Earth First organization seeking comment were not immediately returned. Lynn said police have not received any communication from Earth First taking credit for gasline incidents. At least one set of footprints was in the snow, leading up to one location. Cameras were not installed at the 3 locations. The fact that a person or persons struck more than one gas transfer site appears to point to an intentional attack on the city of Aspen during what's traditionally the busiest week of the year. I don't know what to make of that. Who knows? It could just be like a crazy person. It could be somebody with a beef with Aspen. So I don't know what's going on. I have no idea. Hey, a quick thanks again to our moderators. Lynn G is moderating. Sarah Joy, Sarah 55. They are all volunteers. Mark Helton. They're awesome. They're all volunteers. Linda Belk and Texas Legends Brian in our Periscope chat. They're moderating. Roxanne Becky in our Facebook chat. Our Twitch mods too. Idaho Star Tariag. We would love to have more moderators. That'd be great. So if you're interested, ask the mods for more info on that, but that would be awesome. Hang on a second here. By the way, in case you're not aware, in addition to Agenda-Free TV, oops, what's going on here? In addition to Agenda-Free TV and also Agenda-Free TV 2, on YouTube there's 2 channels. So on YouTube I'm on Agenda-Free TV 2 right now, but most of the news coverage on YouTube is Agenda-Free TV. So you can subscribe to that too. But But I also have a non-news channel only on YouTube that is called Lookner, where I sometimes do videos. Who knows? Maybe I'll do a video there tonight. So if you want to check that out, that is called Lookner. It is non-news videos, and it is on YouTube. People sent me some stuff. I need to open some of it on the air. Been a few days. Simon says, why do you not have a website? There's too much to do. There is an Agenda Free TV website that our viewer, Weston, has been really helpful on. I just need to connect with him. We need to kind of figure out what exactly is going on with it. But Weston's been really helping out with that. Linda says, the mods are amazing. Okay, let's see here. All right, so we talked about, I have to look up the Ontario Finance Minister story. I didn't even talk about Yemen Airport. Also, there's all this stuff going on. All this stuff. Angela Stansbury, Selena K says, Reed Timmer says code red for tornadoes in the south tomorrow. I saw something about that somewhere. Let's see. He said here, he said there's a potential of a tornado event on New Year's Eve, especially central southern Louisiana to Mississippi. He posted that yesterday. Yeah, we will have New Year's Eve coverage, definitely. Here's the story one of our viewers messaged me about. Ontario Finance Minister says he's returning home as news of Caribbean vacation sparks anger. This is from CBC. Ontario Premier Doug Ford is acknowledging he knew Finance Minister Rod Phillips was outside Canada before the news of his Caribbean vacation began making headlines. Premier says a very tough conversation is in store when Phillips returns from his trip, which was taken while Ontarians were urged to hunker down amid rising cases of COVID. The finance minister says, Ontario finance minister says he'll return home after news that he traveled to a Caribbean island for a personal vacation amid the COVID pandemic sparked public anger. Okay. Where's the part that he say he wasn't there? He took the trip on December 13th. He's still out of the country. There's been a bunch of stories like this. On December 24th, hold on. As news of the trip surfaced, Phillips faced backlash on his Twitter account, which has been active over the period he's been out of the country. On Christmas Eve, he tweeted, "As we all make sacrifices this Christmas." See? But he was on vacation. And on December 24th, he tweeted from a fireplace. And it says he thanked people for what they are doing to protect the most vulnerable. And then in December 15th, there was a tweet of him which appeared to suggest he was in Canada. But he wasn't. He was already on vacation. That's December 15th, after he went on vacation. But he posted a photo on his account which made it look like he was in Canada. Okay, I see. All right. Anyways, if you want to read more about that, go to CBC. There's been a bunch of politicians in different countries telling people to do one thing and then doing another. Nicole Wilson says, this is ridiculous. How are citizens supposed to take this serious if leaders don't? Seize a Day says he snuck off, then set off timed tweets making it look like he was in Canada. Initials, I don't know when exactly I'm starting the New Year's coverage tomorrow night. Probably 8 or 9 Eastern. I got to figure it out. I'm going to figure that out later tonight. I will figure it out. I just haven't figured it all out. That's what I need to do, is figure it out and get the event up there. Doge just found this. Caitlin Collins just posted. President Trump is skipping his New Year's Eve party. From Caitlin Collins. An unusual move that surprised guests who were told he'd be there. Instead, he's heading back to Washington. Wonder if there are people who bought tickets because they thought he was going to be there. Katie Lamer is going to be watching for New Year's. All right. Trump to return to Washington early ahead of Republican plan to disrupt certification of Biden's win. But he's not going for New Year's. Trump is now slated to leave Palm Beach before his annual New Year's Eve party, even though guests had already gathered at his South Florida club and were told Trump would be in attendance, according to 3 people familiar with the matter. The president typically relishes appearing on the red carpet in front of the press and his friends, but is skipping the event altogether this year in what will be an unusual move. Don't know why. Daniel Boberson says they will want their money back. Cranky Poodle says party pooper. Worker B says refund. Debbie says, feel bad. Bars will lose lots of money on New Year's Eve, at least in Ohio. We have a 10 p.m. curfew. No, I will not be drinking hard liquor tomorrow. Stephen Mason. By the way, operations have resumed following delays in and around Dallas-Fort Worth related to a positive COVID test and convective weather. Let's see if I can find out more about this. Here. FAA halts all flights in and out of DFW and Dallas Love Field due to COVID-19 case at Regional Control Center. This is from Dallas Morning News. The FAA temporarily halted all arriving and departing planes on Wednesday at Dallas-Fort Worth and Dallas Love Field after a COVID case at its primary operations center. They closed the facility at around 3 p.m. to allow for cleaning, according to a statement from an agency spokesman. Flights resumed around 5:20 p.m. Wow. These stoppages have become routine since the COVID pandemic began. Oh, hold on a second. 3 personnel? 2 airports in Dallas temporarily stopped incoming and departing flights on Wednesday to sanitize an air control tower after 3 personnel tested positive for COVID over the past week. 3 tests. What did the FAA say? Hold on a second here. I have their tweet. FAA. Air traffic control employee tested positive for COVID. The employee had last been in the facility on Christmas Day. Blah, 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 blah. They only say 1. All right. So NBC says there were 3 personnel. Dallas flights grounded as air traffic facility with 3 positive COVID tests in a week is sanitized. That's from today, MSNBC. Beth Standard says, why are they having a New Year's party at Mar-a-Lago? Good God. All right. Christian, I don't know if no, I think Christian, I believe the special is going to be in the studio tomorrow night. I believe the special is going to be in the studio. If that changes, I will let you know. But I believe it's going to be the studio. Thank you, Christian, for your support. Hang on 1 second here. Hang on. Oh yeah, here's COVID tracking project. Look. A record 3,903 corona deaths. 3,903. Today's record death count in the U.S. includes a backlog of roughly 200 deaths reported in Washington. Even without this backlog, today's total would still be the highest to date. Louisiana reported a record 6,754 cases today. The State Department of Health notes this does not include a backlog of cases or multiple days of reporting. Things getting worse in Louisiana. So 3,903 COVID deaths, 200 of that is a backlog from Washington. Mark Starkiller says, remember it was when it was 3,900 infected per day. Look at the hospitalizations. It's just ridiculous. Look at the hospitalization numbers. This is their hospitalizations graph on COVID tracking project. Look at this. Unbelievable. This is since the spring. And the black is a 7-day average. The gray is the actual numbers here. The gray are the death figures. Ugh. History Underfoot says January is going to be rough. Trillion says maybe we peak with new cases and deaths by the end of January, then it's a long way down after that. Well, I hope it goes down soon, but you know, we got January and February, we got winter. Got a couple months of winter still coming up. Oh, hold on a second. I need to delete something. Need to delete some nonsense. Hang on. The airport flights were being halted in Dallas, Fort Worth area. All right, I think I'm going to cover one more story here. The one other story I wanted to quickly say something about was by the way, Toy Biederman says, it's the same in Europe, even Germany is spiking. It is. Oh, hold on a second. I need to mute. So goodbye. 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 First Utopia says it's pretty busy in Times Square. Well, if you go to, a couple of people mentioned Times Square. If you go to EarthCam Times Square cams, there's a screenshot. It doesn't look that busy there. You can go to EarthCam Times Square cams. I'm looking around. I see, actually, there's some people out there. Here's a screenshot. There's some people out there. Go to EarthCam Times Square cams. All right, last thing, I think I want to mention the Yemen story. There was this, look at this, it's kind of crazy. Yemeni officials say blast at Aden airport kills 22, wounds 50. A large explosion struck the airport in the southern Yemeni city of Aden on Wednesday, shortly after a plane carrying the newly formed cabinet landed there. At least 22 people were killed and 50 were wounded. Officials later reported another explosion close to a palace in the city where the cabinet members were transferred following the airport attack. Crazy. The source of the explosion was not immediately clear, and no group claimed responsibility for attacking the airport. No one on the government plane was hurt. AP footage from the scene of the airport showed members of the government delegation disembarking as the blast shook the grounds. Many ministers rushed back inside the plane or ran down the stairs seeking shelter. That's from CNBC. It's not even clear where what caused it. I don't think. Let me see. I saw some posts on this before. I think Aurora Intel had some posts about this. Or did they? Was it Aurora Intel or was it somebody else? Two videos circulating claiming to be from Aden, Yemen, showing the launch of a missile rocket showed the same projectile. Frames are slightly off due to the recording, but the item dropping can be seen. I don't know if this is legit, but there was maybe speculation that like a drone might have dropped the explosive or something. This is from Aurora Intel. They have some good posts on this Aurora Intel. They say frame by frame of what happened. This is like video from the airport. They showed some frames of the explosion where it was. See. What is this? They also posted a video, Aurora Intel, which you can go watch it if you want, where they show. Now, does this actually show something coming down and hitting? I am currently investigating this video. Notice the empty plane staircase and lack of people compared to other video. Seeks to be cropped. Oh, this I don't even know if this is actually from today. Let's see. What does he say? Oh, he says found it. It is in the Al Arabiya stream. Yeah, so I guess what he's saying is that you seem to see something come into frame and hit the ground. That's this thing here. I'm just seeing this right now. Again, this is at Aurora Intel. Right here. See that? Wow. Amir thinks Iran did it. Well, the Houthi rebels in Yemen are funded by Iran. They receive a lot of funding from Iran, so it could have been Iranian influence. There's been a civil war going on in Yemen for years. And on the one side, you have the government forces supported by Saudi Arabia. On the other side, the rebels supported by Iran. Mark says, on one video, you can see missile hit. Maybe Mark was talking about this one. I'm guessing maybe they were trying to hit the plane. Fairy Goddess says, holy crap. I mean, the Houthis have used drones before to make attacks, so. Yeah, Josh Jacob Architect said, oh, is it two? Oh, is the idea that it's two? Oh, I see. Right. Josh Jacob Architect thinks it was maybe two projectiles. I was thinking maybe you're just seeing two marks on the frame for some reason. I don't know. Roger Service says, Houthis have denied. Last I saw, they usually take credit. Well, we'll see. Anyways. All right, look, I think I'm going to wrap up this live stream right now. I might end up doing a stream on my personal channel later tonight on Lookner on YouTube. So I might end up doing that. If there's big news, I'll come back on the air. But I think it's time to wrap up this live stream right now. So Roger Service says, does he not see the smoke from the previous hit? Yeah, I didn't really get into that, so I might have missed some stuff. I'm not going to get into that now. But if you want to go and look at the videos and stuff, go to Aurora Intel. So again, I was just seeing that stuff for the first time. So I'm sure that there's plenty of people out there who are more familiar with the videos and stuff than I am. But it is time to wrap up this live stream. So I really appreciate you watching the news roundup stream. Thank you for watching the news roundup. And again, I may end up streaming on my personal channel a little later on. That's called Lookner on YouTube. But subscribe, follow. If you're watching on YouTube, this is Agenda Free TV 2. I also have Agenda Free TV. On the other channels, on the other platforms, it's just Agenda Free TV. So make sure you subscribe so you know when we're coming on the air for live news coverage. And hey, I really appreciate the donations. Your donations are what actually lets me do the news coverage. That's what allows me to be available full-time to do news coverage, is your support. So I really do appreciate it. Thank you. That includes everybody on YouTube who donated, who I thanked earlier, Paul Hessen, Ghosty Girl for the Super Hearts, everybody who gave Facebook stars, who I thanked earlier. Thank you for all your support. And if you do want to make a donation to support the news coverage, go to agendafree.tv, agendafree.tv. Yes, History Underfoot says, see you tomorrow for the New Year's Eve party. I will be doing a New Year's Eve stream tomorrow, probably on Agenda Free TV. I will try to get the actual event posted tonight at some point. Hey, thanks, by the way, to our moderators. They're incredible. They're all volunteers. So give it up for them. Mark Helton, Sarah55, Sarah Joy, Lynn G, Linda Belk and Texas Legends Brian in our Periscope chat. Thank you. They've been moderating there. Roxanne Becky in our Facebook chat. Our Twitch mods, too. Idaho Star. Thank you. Oh, Daniel Boberson. Hey, thanks for the donation. Daniel says, love the Roundup. I'm glad that some of you like the Roundup. It's good to have you watching. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for letting me read your comments on the air. Big part of the Roundup is your comments. So thanks for tuning in and thanks for chatting and for sending me news tips. Thanks for all the news tips people have been sending me during the Roundup. Shaggy's going to watch the Celtics game. Don't forget the Discord. Hey, you can chat with other viewers when we're not on the air. In the Discord chat room. And if you sign up for the Discord, it's free. Even if you don't do the chat, the Discord's the best way to get notified about my channels. If you sign up for the Discord, you get notified about all my channels. Great notifications that tell you when we're going on the air live. So check out the Discord. The link is in the YouTube. On YouTube, it's if you go to the description of this video on YouTube and you go to the bottom, the link is right there. But the moderators can also post that link to the Discord. So check out the Discord. And you can chat there with other viewers. And if anybody would be interested, if anybody's interested in being a volunteer moderator, we would love to hear from you. You can always use our mods. Reach out to the mods and let them know, and they will let you know how to proceed with that. Oops, hold on a second here. Hang on. Hang on a sec here. Oh, thank you, South Jersey Larry. Thank you, South Jersey Larry. South Jersey Larry says for being late. Well, that's very kind of you, South Jersey Larry. I'm sorry you were late. I guess you're sorry you were late. But I very much appreciate your guys' support because that's what lets me do this. So thank you. Yeah, Don says we covered a lot tonight. We did cover a lot tonight. I don't know that any of the things we covered I would have done a whole stream on Agenda Free TV, but there was a bunch of stuff to talk about on this stream. That's what I kind of like about this, is we can get to a bunch of stories that maybe we wouldn't have done a whole stream on, but we wanted to talk about. Oh, hey, thank you, by the way. It's very kind of you. Our viewer, History Underfoot. Oh, thank you, History Underfoot, for the donation. History Underfoot says, Happy New Year. I'm a big fan. Hey, that's very kind of you. History Underfoot, thank you for your support of the channel. Much appreciated. You know History Underfoot from the YouTube chat. WHBQ says, you moving to HAPS or other. We'll see what happens when Periscope ends. I can't go out to any more platforms right now, but when Periscope ends at the end of March, I'm kind of hoping that Twitter will kind of replace Periscope with something like on Twitter, but we'll see. We'll have to see what happens. Okay. Linda, do you need help with the Discord? If you need help with the Discord, Linda, there is a email you can write to. I think it's AFTV Fans Discord. One of the mods should have it. Duggets, we've done DLive before, so who knows? You know, we'll see what happens with Periscope when Periscope ends. Hey, thank you, by the way, WHBQ, for the super hearts. That's very kind of you. Thank you. And thanks to our viewers. Thanks to all of our viewers on Twitch. Farah Butte, Shaggy, Maddie Mags. Maddie Mags loves the format. All right. Yes, Dehondo, we are doing a New Year's stream, New Year's Eve. Viewer 106, thanks for watching. Captain Spaulding. Decoy Octopus. Mundo World, thanks for watching. All right. And our other Twitch viewers, thank you all for watching on Twitch. Vetak versus the World was watching too. And Decoy Octopus. All right. Our Facebook viewers. Lauren says, Discord notifications are great. Thank you, Lauren Miller-Donnelly, for watching. Christian Montoya. Thank you, Christian. Robin Sherry, thanks for watching. Gretchen Elizabeth. Barry Weil, thanks for watching. Kathy Van Pelt, thanks for watching. She says, Happy New Year. Roxanne Becky, thanks for moderating there. Debbie says, I may be tuning. Debbie Shelley says, I may be tuning in. 2020 was rough. Might need some company. Yeah, check out. We'll be here covering New Year's Eve tomorrow. Well, on Agenda Free TV. Thanks for watching, Tomco. Tomco Plumbing was watching. Christina Paulette Kirshner, thank you for watching. Rochelle Cook, we will see about the background for tomorrow. Thanks for watching. And all of our Facebook viewers. Hey, thanks, Mr. Showtime, who likes the format. Thank you, Mr. Showtime. I appreciate your support. Thank you. That's very kind of you. ACL wants me to go to HAPS. Who knows? We will see. And WHBQ2 says too. We'll see. We'll see what happens when we get to April. ACL, thanks for watching. J. Jacob Design, WHBQ, thank you for watching. Debbie, 65551. Fairy Goddess, Toy Beaterman, and all of our other Periscope viewers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. John W. Harvey sounds like he'll stop by tomorrow. Cool. Okay. I may be wearing my tux tomorrow. Maybe. Linda Payne, thanks for watching. Brendan Brumon, Judy Socket, Best Standard, Lefties Right Witch, Madison G, Colligan Crafts, Sarah Blackwood, April Coco, Vivian Yurton, Brendan Brumond. I think I said that already. Don Pratt, Rob G likes the Roundup. Marie Whitmore, Odessa Carrillo, Sue T, J. Marie, Cranky Poodle, Narwhal Tacos. Cheryl Puentes will be tuning in tomorrow. Awesome. Cover Me, thank you for watching. Boo Boo Nene, Denise Horton, Electric Crystals, History Underfoot, thank you again. Cheryl Simpson, Paula Faust, like the stream, all right. Alex Staines, Carol Reed, Ulrich, Camp, Linda Nielsen, Donna K, Louise, Dan Starr, Lisa W, Maria Brouillard, Mark Worling, Gamer Quest, Montpelier, Stephen Myers, Baby Shark, Worker Bee, and Tammy Luntz. And Christina Scholl, thanks for watching too, Christina. And Sample in a Jar, thank you for watching. I will post news updates when I'm not on the air on my Twitter, which is @Lookner. So follow me on Twitter, @Lookner on Twitter for breaking news. Good night, Pompidou. All right, guys, so again, subscribe to Agenda Free TV, subscribe to Agenda Free TV 2, subscribe to my personal channel, Lookner. I might be going on there later tonight. Lookner is only on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter, @Lookner. But thank you for tuning into the News Roundup. Thanks for all your help and your comments in participating in the News Roundup. We'll do more news coverage soon. Okay, that's it. I'm taking a break. Thank you, everyone, and thank you again, all the moderators. Really appreciate the moderators. Amazing, as always. Okay, thanks so much, guys. And we will see you soon with more live coverage here on Agenda Free TV and Agenda Free TV 2, and we'll see you next time.